Brunei's full name is Negara Brunei Darussalam, which in the local language means the Kingdom of Brunei, the abode of peace. This small nation is located in Southeast Asia, on the northern coast of Borneo, the world's third largest island by area. Sharing the same island are two other countries, Malaysia and Indonesia. Compared to its neighbors, Brunei is remarkably small, covering an area of only about 5,700 square kilometers. To put it into perspective, the country is 55 times smaller than Malaysia and more than 300 times smaller than Indonesia. What makes Brunei unique is that its territory is not contiguous. The country is divided into two separate parts. The western region is Brunei's main hub, where nearly the entire population lives, accounting for about 97% of the nation's total. This part is almost completely surrounded by Malaysia, with only a small stretch facing the South China Sea. The smaller eastern part, known as Temburong, is separated by Malaysian territory. It is a mountainous area covered with tropical rainforest, sparsely populated with just over 10,000 residents. In the past, traveling between the two regions was quite inconvenient. People had to either pass through Malaysian territory or take a ferry. Everything changed when the Sultan Haji Omar Ali Saifuddin Bridge was inaugurated in 2020. Stretching nearly 30 kilometers, this bridge not only connects the two parts of Brunei but also stands as the longest bridge in Southeast Asia, symbolizing a new milestone in the country's infrastructure, development, and national connectivity. Despite its small size, Brunei ranks among the top 10 richest countries in the world. As of 2024, the country's GDP per capita exceeds $33,400, making it the second highest in Southeast Asia, just behind Singapore. More than a decade ago, this figure even surpassed $47,000, surprising many developed nations with the living standards of a country with only a few 100,000 residents. The reason for this wealth is quite simple. It all comes down to oil and gas. Brunei possesses approximately 1.1 billion barrels of oil, a figure that may seem modest as it accounts for only about 0.1% of global reserves. However, with a population of just over 400,000, such resources are more than sufficient to sustain the entire nation for decades. If you're wondering why larger countries like the United States do not intervene or attempt to seize oil resources here, the answer is that Brunei's oil reserves are too small to warrant contention. More importantly, oil extraction is conducted through a joint venture between the Brunei government and the Anglo-Dutch company Shell. Shell has extensive ties with American energy companies, meaning that the U.S. has a stake in this oil pie and has no need to compete with itself. Thanks to the enormous revenue from oil and gas, the people of Brunei enjoy a lifestyle that many elsewhere envy. Education is entirely free, covering tuition, textbooks, uniforms, and school meals, all funded by the government. Students wishing to study abroad can also receive full scholarships from the government. As a result, Brunei boasts a literacy rate of 98%, with nearly the entire population having access to education. The healthcare system is also commendable. All Brunei citizens receive free healthcare, with no costs for consultations or treatments. If treatment is unavailable domestically, the government covers all expenses for patients to seek care abroad. In some rare cases, family members are even supported to accompany patients, showcasing the generosity of this welfare system. Brunei's social welfare policies are further reflected in its generous unemployment benefits. Those who lose their jobs can receive about 80% of the average salary for several months until they find new employment. Nevertheless, the unemployment rate is very low, as the welfare policies for employees are so good that everyone wants to work. Government employees are entitled to at least 30 days of paid leave each year, not including religious holidays that can last up to a week. After 20 to 25 years of service, they can retire early with a stable pension and continue to receive free healthcare for life. Housing is also not a concern for Bruneians. By simply registering with the authorities, they will be allocated a new house within a few years for a symbolic payment of just $1. Additionally, electricity and water costs are completely waived, effectively treated as complimentary. What surprises many the most is that despite enjoying various welfare benefits, Bruneians do not pay any taxes. There is no income tax, no value-added tax, no property tax, or inheritance tax. Salaries are received in full, without any deductions. Currently, about 80% of Brunei's population practices Islam, and this religion profoundly influences every aspect of life. Upon arriving in Brunei, The first thing that stands out is the presence of mosques everywhere. This small nation has one of the highest densities of mosques in the world, with over 100 structures for a population of just over 400,000 people. Simply put, you can find a mosque just a few streets away, and almost every residential area has its own place of worship. These mosques serve not only as places of prayer, but also as community centers where people gather, study the Quran, and organize events. Among them, the Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque is the most prominent symbol. With its golden dome, white marble walls, and surrounding water features, this structure is considered one of the most beautiful mosques in Asia. It is so stunning that even non-Muslims stop to take photos. In Brunei, Islam is not just a spiritual belief, but also the foundation of law in society. Since 2019, the country has officially implemented Sharia law, which includes severe punishments such as stoning, amputation, or public flogging. When this information was announced, the international community reacted strongly. Many countries criticized the move, and some even cut diplomatic ties with Brunei. In response to the strong backlash, the government announced a temporary suspension of the death penalty. But Sharia law remains in effect, significantly changing the lives of the people. For example, alcohol is completely banned, and smoking in public places is not allowed. Praying on Fridays is mandatory for men, and those who are absent may face fines. The national television only broadcasts images of typical Muslim families. Topics related to politics, religion, sexuality, or royalty are strictly prohibited. As a result, the entertainment industry in Brunei is quite limited. Singers wishing to release songs must seek permission from the religious authorities, and most content revolves around themes of morality or patriotism. Religion is most evident during the month of Ramadan. During this time, eating or smoking in public is prohibited. Local residents who violate this can be fined thousands of US dollars or even face imprisonment. Tourists are also required to adhere to these regulations. Because of these strict rules, many travelers find Brunei to be a rather quiet and closed-off country, with almost no entertainment activities. Some non-Muslim residents also share that on weekends, they often drive to the city of Miri in Malaysia to relax, listen to music, and enjoy a more vibrant atmosphere. Not many people know that Brunei was once one of the most powerful kingdoms in Southeast Asia. In the 15th century, during the reign of Sultan Bolkiah, Brunei's territory expanded to over 250,000 square kilometers, nearly 45 times its current size. This remarkable growth was made possible by Brunei's strategic geographical position, situated along the vital maritime route connecting China, India, and the Malay archipelago, where all trade routes converged. By controlling maritime trade flows, Brunei quickly became one of the region's most prosperous trading centers. Merchant ships from all over flocked to exchange goods such as silk, spices, pearls, and gold, leading to significant economic development. Thanks to this prosperity, Brunei had the resources to build a powerful military, expand its territory, and exert considerable influence over neighboring kingdoms such as present-day Malaysia and the Philippines. However, this golden age did not last forever. As the 16th century approached, Brunei began to weaken as European empires like Spain and Britain entered the region. Wars, epidemics, and internal conflicts gradually caused the country to lose its grip on power. By the 19th century, much of Brunei's territory had fallen into the hands of the British and the neighboring Kingdom of Sarawak. In 1888, Brunei was forced to sign a treaty to become a protectorate of Britain, which then took control of foreign affairs and managed most administrative tasks. Nearly a century later, on the 1st of January 1984, Brunei officially declared its independence, completely ending the protectorate period. Even after gaining independence, the influence of Britain remains evident in Brunei's modern life. The people still drive on the left side of the road, and the administrative system retains British characteristics. In fact, polo, a sport emblematic of the British aristocracy, has become a favorite pastime of Brunei's Sultan, who is now known as one of the best polo players in the region. Brunei is a rather reserved country, and they rarely send representatives to participate in beauty contests, either regionally or globally. As a result, even today, many people are curious about what Bruneian women look like. They often possess the gentle and soft beauty characteristic of East Asian women, but with a hint of the sharpness found in Arab women. Their smooth brown skin, large deep-set eyes with thick eyelashes, and high noses create a beauty that is both approachable and captivating. Those who have lived in Brunei often jokingly say that the women here represent the most underrated beauty in Southeast Asia. Since the majority of Bruneian women are Muslim, their style of dress is very modest. They always cover their heads and wear long dresses, rarely exposing their hair or bare arms when out in public. However, this modesty does not make them monotonous. Due to limitations in style, they focus on colors and materials. Bruneian women's clothing is often vibrant, featuring bold colors like yellow, pink, purple, turquoise, or burgundy. Black and white are reserved for formal occasions or religious ceremonies. Common materials include silk, satin, or intricately embroidered fabrics. On special occasions, they may add crystals, lace, or sequins for emphasis, achieving a look that is both elegant and appropriate. For women who are not Muslim, attire can be a bit more relaxed, but still needs to maintain modesty to align with local culture. Bruneian women tend to marry quite early, with many tying the knot as soon as they turn 18. However, with the development of education and living standards, the age of marriage is gradually increasing. In urban areas, women often marry in their mid-22s, while in rural areas, early marriages are still more common. Nevertheless, the trend of modernization is causing changes to occur day by day. When it comes to marriage, one cannot overlook the lavish weddings in Brunei. A wedding ceremony can last several days, complete with all the traditional rituals. On the big day, the bride wears a gold-embroidered outfit, dons a sparkling crown, and is adorned with jewelry, looking no different from a princess stepping out of a palace. After marriage, Bruneian women typically prioritize family care over career development. They spend a lot of time with their children and engage in religious activities. Women rarely work late, do not go out for dinner, or socialize privately with male colleagues. Most leisure time is closely tied to family and community, ensuring that life here retains its characteristic peacefulness and modesty. In the world, most countries observe weekends on Saturday and Sunday, but Brunei has a rather unique regulation. Here, the official days off are Friday and Sunday, as Friday is the holiest day of prayer for Muslims. Previously, there was a proposal for Brunei to also take Saturday off. If this were to happen, Brunei would be among the very few countries with a 3-day weekend. Although this proposal has not yet been approved, the mere idea has excited the people, as who wouldn't want an extra day to relax and shop? Speaking of lifestyle, one little known fact is that the rate of childhood obesity in Brunei is the highest in Southeast Asia. Statistics show that more than half of the students are overweight, a concerning figure for a wealthy nation. The main reason is the overly convenient lifestyle. Almost every household has a car, which means children rarely engage in physical activities. The hot and humid weather year-round limits outdoor sports. In schools, physical education classes are often considered secondary. Coupled with Brunei's cuisine, which is rich in oil, sugar, and meat, the energy intake consistently exceeds energy expenditure. With such a lifestyle, it would be unusual for children here not to be obese. When it comes to sports, Brunei generally does not invest much in this area. A prime example is the Olympic Games. In 1988, Brunei made its Olympic debut, but no athletes competed. They only sent a representative for symbolic purposes. It wasn't until 1996 that they officially had athletes competing. To this day, Brunei's sports achievements remain at the level of participating for fun, as they have never won any medals. Perhaps the sporting spirit here is more about participation than competition. However, football is an exception. This sport is beloved and receives special attention from both the public and the royal family. At the 2019 SIA Games, the Sultan of Brunei attracted attention by offering a reward of 20 million Brunei dollars, equivalent to about 15 million US dollars, if the national team managed to draw against Vietnam. Part of the reason may be that the team included the Sultan's nephew, player Fake Bolkiah, who plays as a forward. He had trained at renowned football academies in England, such as Arsenal, Chelsea, Southampton, and Leicester City, before joining the national team. Although his career is not particularly outstanding, Fake Bolkiah remains a name that attracts media attention, as he is one of the very few footballers who does not have to worry about his salary. His family's wealth is sufficient to buy an entire club if they wished. Brunei is the country with the highest car ownership rate in Southeast Asia. Despite a population of only about 450,000 people, the country has around 300,000 registered vehicles. In other words, almost every family owns at least one car, and it is quite common for some households to have 2 or 3. The popularity of cars can be attributed to the significantly lower vehicle prices in Brunei compared to neighboring countries. The government waives most import taxes, excise taxes, and registration fees, making cars considerably cheaper. Additionally, gasoline in Brunei is extremely cheap, costing about $0.50 per liter. People even jokingly say that gasoline is cheaper than drinking water, as a 500 milliliters bottle of mineral water costs around $1. Furthermore, Brunei does not charge toll fees, and most areas offer free parking. The roads are spacious, with little traffic congestion and smooth flow, with high income levels, low fuel prices, and good infrastructure. Owning a car in Brunei is almost a given because everyone has their own vehicle. Public transportation is quite rare. The bus system consists of only 6 routes around the capital, characterized by their purple color. Bruneians hardly use buses. The passengers are mainly tourists and foreign workers from Indonesia, the Philippines, or Bangladesh. The fare is only about $1, which is very cheap. But due to the low number of riders, the service is infrequent. Buses do not have a fixed schedule, stops are far apart, and sometimes you may have to wait an hour for one to pass by. Traditional taxis are equally scarce. With everyone owning their own car, very few people need to call for a taxi. There are only about 50 licensed taxis operating nationwide. You cannot simply go out and hail one like in other countries. If you want to take a taxi, you must call and book at least an hour in advance and specify a time. Due to the limited number of vehicles, fares are not cheap either. A short trip of about 4 to 5 kilometers can cost up to $5. To improve the situation, Brunei has launched a ride-hailing app called Dart, which operates similarly to Uber or Grab. However, due to the small population and limited number of drivers, sometimes it can be even harder to get a ride than to win the lottery. Bandar Seri Begawan is the capital of Brunei, located in the northern part of Borneo Island. The name of the city carries multiple meanings. In Malay, Bandar means city, while Seri Begawan is a title bestowed upon Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin III after he abdicated in 1967. He is referred to by the people of Brunei as the father of modern nation, the one who laid the foundations for the administrative system, education, and development direction that helped Brunei become as prosperous as it is today. Therefore, the name of the capital can be understood as City of the Honorable King Omar Ali Saifuddin. This capital is small in scale, with a population of only about 100,000 people, yet it serves as the political, economic, and religious center of the country. Most of the important institutions are located here, including the palace, parliament, mosques, and the central market. Upon arriving in Bandar Seri Begawan, you will immediately sense the wealth of Brunei. Almost every structure features gold detailing or is adorned with luxurious materials. One of the most prominent examples of this is the Istana Nurul Iman Palace, which means Palace of the Light of Faith. This palace serves both as the residence and workplace of Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah and is also the main headquarters of the royal government. The palace was completed in 1984, with an estimated construction cost of around 1.4 billion USD. It currently holds the Guinness World Record for being the largest palace in the world owned by a head of state, covering an area of over 200,000 square meters, larger than both Buckingham Palace in the UK and the Palace of Versailles in France combined. Inside the palace, there are up to 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and 5 swimming pools. The main reception room can accommodate 4,000 people, and the garage has space for 110 cars. The Sultan of Brunei is known for his passion for supercars, owning one of the largest luxury car collections in the world, which includes dozens of gold-plated Rolls-Royces and many unique sports cars. Moreover, the palace features its own air-conditioned stable, capable of housing up to 200 purebred Arabian horses for royal ceremonies. The office and throne are crafted from solid gold. The interior, from the handrails and picture frames to drinking glasses, is mostly gold-plated or made of real gold. Another famous destination in the capital is the Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque. Built in 1958 and named after the king for whom the capital is named. This structure is considered a masterpiece of Islamic architecture in Southeast Asia. The entire building is made of white marble imported from Italy, stained glass from England, Persian carpets from Iran, and crystal chandeliers from Saudi Arabia. The main dome of the mosque is covered in real gold, with an estimated 5 tons of gold, making it so prominent that it can be seen from almost anywhere in the city. When it comes to luxury, one cannot overlook the Empire Brunei, the only 6-star hotel in the country. This establishment was invested in by the Brunei government with a total cost of around 1.1 billion USD. The hotel has 520 rooms, including a presidential suite that is nearly 700 square meters, and features a private cinema with 50 seats exclusively for guests. The lobby ceiling is adorned with gold and crystal. Columns are wrapped in Carrara marble, imported from Italy, and all interiors are designed to royal standards. The hotel complex includes a private beach, an 18-hole golf course, a theater, and an international conference center that has hosted many world leaders. In the heart of the magnificent capital Bandar Seri Begawan, with its golden palace and 6-star hotels, lies a place that retains the rustic charm of ancient Brunei, Kampong Ayer, the water village that has existed for over 1,000 years. Kampong Ayer stretches along the Brunei River, formed during the early days of the kingdom. The people of that time chose to live on the water because the river was the most vital source of life, serving as a transportation route, a fishing ground, and a marketplace for trade. Building houses on the river also helped them avoid wild animals in the dense forests along the shore and facilitated trade with other regions. By the 15th century, this area flourished and became the political, commercial, and cultural center of the country. In fact, the first kings of Brunei established their first palace here before the capital was moved inland. Today, Kampong Ayer is home to about 10,000 residents, divided into over 40 small villages, connected by a network of wooden and concrete bridges spanning more than 30 kilometers. Each village has its own traditional occupation, such as fishing, boat making, weaving, wood carving, or small-scale riverside trading, creating a close-knit and vibrant water community. Surprisingly, despite being entirely situated on the water, this village has all the amenities of a small urban area: schools, health clinics, mosques, police stations, grocery stores, and even fuel stations for boats. Residents travel by small speedboats known as water taxis, the most common mode of transport here. Every household has electricity, clean water, and internet access, allowing them to maintain a modern lifestyle while preserving traditional elements. The Brunei government encourages residents to continue living here to preserve the water culture that has existed for centuries. If you have the chance to visit Kampong Ayer, you should stop by the Water Village Museum, which showcases artifacts and images of ancient water life, including house construction, fishing practices, and community activities from the past. Interestingly, the Brunei River is not only home to humans but also serves as a natural habitat for saltwater crocodiles. They rarely approach residential areas, but safety warning signs are always posted along the riverbank. Tourists on boat tours remain completely safe, and if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a crocodile sunbathing from a distance. Aside from the capital city of Bandar Seri Begawan, the most famous natural destination that anyone visiting Brunei should not miss is the Ulu Temburong National Park. This pristine tropical rainforest covers nearly 40% of the Temburong district in the eastern part of the country and is often referred to as the Green Lung of Brunei. With an age of over 100 million years, it is also the oldest surviving forest on the island of Borneo, remaining almost intact through millions of years of evolution. To reach Ulu Temburong, visitors must take a boat downstream on the Temburong River for over an hour, as there are no direct roads leading to this area. This unique access method is what has helped preserve the forest in its pristine state to this day. Ulu Temburong is famous for its canopy walkway, a suspension bridge that rises over 50 meters above the ground, situated among the forest canopy. From up high, you can see a sea of lush green forest stretching to the horizon. Below, there is a network of trails, small waterfalls, clear streams, and areas for observing wildlife, such as proboscis monkeys, hornbills, and giant butterflies. From Ulu Temburong, heading south, you will arrive at Pulau Selarong, a mangrove island located off the coast of the Temburong region, spanning over 2,500 hectares. This island is known as the ecological island because it is entirely covered by mangrove forests. What makes it unique is that all the pathways on the island are built with wooden walkways that stretch for kilometers, elevated above the water, allowing visitors to explore without harming the natural environment. The Selarong mangrove forest is home to hundreds of animal species, including long-tailed macaques, saltwater crocodiles, otters, and many migratory birds. In addition to its biological value, the island serves as a natural barrier, helping to reduce the impact of storms and erosion along the coastal areas. Notably, if you stay overnight, you may witness the phenomenon of bioluminescent plankton, which causes the waters around the island to sparkle brilliantly in the dark. Not far from this area, in the southwest of Brunei, lies the village of Lavish, located in the Bel 8 district. This is a place where visitors can experience the authentic rural life of Brunei. Lavish village is known for its community tourism. Guests can stay in traditional wooden houses, accompany their hosts to the market, cook, and learn to prepare local specialties. Not only does Lavish boast a rich cultural life, but it is also a land of unspoiled nature. The area is home to many beautiful waterfalls, such as Wasai Wong Kater, a favorite weekend getaway for locals. Surrounding the area is the Lavish Hills Forest Reserve, which, although small, contains a rich ecosystem with many rare bird and insect species. If you are someone who enjoys vibrant atmospheres, loves lively parties, or sleepless nights, then Brunei might leave you feeling a bit disappointed. As a strictly Islamic country, Brunei has no alcoholic beverages, bars, pubs, or nightclubs like those in Bangkok or Singapore. The nightlife here is much more subdued, reflecting the solemn spirit of Sharia law. However, this does not mean that tourists cannot drink at all. Brunei's laws allow foreigners to bring in a small amount of alcohol upon entry, approximately 2 liters of spirits or 2 cases of beer, as long as it is consumed in private spaces like hotel rooms. Drinking in public or being drunk on the streets is considered a criminal offense and can lead to penalties if caught. So, what do Bruneians typically do when night falls? The answer is night markets. These are places where locals stroll, eat, and chat after a day of work. Among them, the Gedong night market in the capital, Bandar Seri Begawan, is the most famous and bustling. Not only is it a familiar shopping spot for locals, but Gedong Market is also regarded as a street food paradise, where you can enjoy a variety of traditional dishes like skewers, pastries, and refreshing fruit juices. Among the hundreds of dishes, durian always stands out as the most attention-grabbing star. For Bruneians and many Southeast Asian tourists, this fruit is celebrated as the king of fruits, thanks to its rich flavor and unmistakable aroma. However, for first-timers, durian can be a true smell shock. Some compare it to the scent of forgotten cheese, while others liken it to damp socks, and you can easily recognize it from several dozen meters away. Nevertheless, if you find yourself here, you should still give it a try to experience the deliciousness that locals rave about. Unlike many places in the region, night markets in Brunei do not operate all night long. Around 11 p.m., the stalls begin to pack up, and the city quickly returns to its familiar quietness. For those accustomed to the bustling atmosphere of major cities, this tranquility can sometimes feel a bit empty, but it is also a distinctive part of Brunei's charm. Hari Raya Aidilfitri is the largest and most joyous festival of the year in Brunei. It marks the end of Ramadan, the month during which Muslims fast from dawn until sunset. When the celebration begins, prayers resonate throughout the country, and the atmosphere changes completely. People wear new clothes, clean their homes, and decorate with vibrant lanterns, flags, and flowers. They visit relatives, give sweets, and wish each other a peaceful new year. The most special aspect of Hari Raya in Brunei is that the Istana Nurul Iman Palace, the residence of the Sultan, opens its doors to the public. During the first 3 days of the celebration, tens of thousands of people come to shake hands and greet the Sultan, the Queen, and royal family members. Guests are invited to enjoy sweet treats, receive souvenirs, and sometimes even get Duit Raya envelopes, a symbolic gift of money representing good fortune. About 2 months later, the people celebrate Hari Raya Aidilada, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice. This holiday commemorates the story of the Prophet Ibrahim, who was willing to sacrifice his son for God. During this occasion, people go to the mosque to pray and then gather to slaughter cows or goats, sharing the meat with the poor, neighbors, and relatives. Although the festive atmosphere is more subdued, it is deeply sacred, serving as a time for everyone to perform good deeds and share blessings. In July, Brunei celebrates the birthday of Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. This day is not only a birthday celebration, but also a symbol of loyalty to the royal family. A grand parade is held in the central square, featuring students, soldiers, and civil servants. The Sultan appears on the stage, waving to the people, and the event concludes with a spectacular fireworks display. One of the most famous traditional sporting events is the Brunei Darussalam Regatta, an annual boat race held on the Brunei River. Dozens of racing teams from both local and international backgrounds compete in categories such as dragon boats, traditional boats, and motorboats. This festival honors Brunei's long-standing maritime traditions, as rivers once served as the main trade arteries of the country. In addition to religious festivals and royal events, the people of Brunei eagerly anticipate the Festival of Lights in the Kampong Ayer water village, which takes place every December. The highlight of the festival is the floating house decoration competition, where thousands of households hang lanterns, light strings, and colorful flags around their homes, transforming the Brunei River into a shimmering tapestry of lights stretching for miles. Each community selects a unique theme, ranging from royal colors to local cultural symbols, and the winning area receives a cash prize along with funding for decorations for the following year. Throughout the festival, people also organize traditional music performances, floating markets, selling food and handicrafts. Visitors can rent small boats to cruise along the river, admiring the thousands of twinkling lights reflected on the water's surface. Brunei's cuisine is heavily influenced by Islam, so all dishes here adhere to halal rules, meaning permissible according to Islamic law. Animal meat must be slaughtered according to specific rituals, which involve a swift cut to the throat while reciting prayers to free the soul. Bruneians absolutely do not use pork or animal blood in any dishes. Additionally, alcohol and alcoholic products are completely banned, so you won't find dishes cooked with wine or beer as in many other countries. Bruneians typically use local ingredients available in the tropical rainforest, such as coconut, lemongrass, turmeric, chili, ginger, and banana leaves. The food here has a rich, slightly sweet, and fatty flavor due to the use of a lot of coconut milk. But it is not as spicy as Thai or Indonesian dishes. Among the signature dishes, the most famous is ambiyat, a traditional dish considered a symbol of Brunei's cuisine. Ambiyat is made from the starch of the sago palm, which, when cooked, becomes a translucent, sticky, and almost flavorless mass. Bruneians eat ambiyat by rolling the sticky dough with bamboo chopsticks and dipping it into a sour and spicy tamarind sauce mixed with dried shrimp or chili. For tourists, this is an exotic dish. But for locals, ambiyat is a memory of times when food was scarce and rice was once a luxury. Being close to the sea, Brunei has a wide variety of fresh seafood. The most popular is ikan bakar, which is grilled fish marinated with turmeric, chili, and coconut milk. Another highly favored dish is udang sambal petai, or shrimp stir-fried with spicy sambal sauce and petai beans, a type of bean with a strong odor that creates a uniquely unforgettable flavor when cooked with sambal. Brunei's cuisine also features national dishes that appear in everyday meals. The most common is nasi katak, which consists of white rice, fried chicken, and spicy sambal sauce. The name katak means knock on the door, as in the past, people had to knock on the shop's door at midnight to buy takeout rice. Despite its simplicity, nasi katak is extremely popular, costing only about $1 for a serving. Bruneians also enjoy sweet dishes made from coconut and palm sugar. Among them, kue sinsen is a crispy ring-shaped fried cake coated in brown sugar, often served during festive occasions. Kue Melayu is a rolled cake filled with banana, soft and sweet, resembling a thicker crepe. As for beverages, tea and milk are the most popular. The favorite drink is teh tarik, also known as pulled tea, which is prepared by pouring it back and forth between 2 cups to create a smooth froth. Another popular drink is air bandung, a milk mixed with light pink rose syrup, often served at parties and weddings. If you're planning a trip to Brunei, there are a few small but memorable things to keep in mind to make your journey smoother. The first thing that might surprise you is that Brunei does not use a house numbering system like in the West. In many residential areas, especially in the water villages or suburbs, you will rarely see specific house numbers. Instead, addresses are described by the name of the area, the street name, or even the homeowner's name. Even local drivers sometimes have to call or ask nearby residents to locate a place. Therefore, if you book a ride or need a delivery, it's best to share your GPS location via message or send a direct pin. As a Muslim country, the dress code in Brunei is also much stricter than in many other places. When entering a mosque, both men and women must wear long sleeves and long pants, and women are required to cover their heads. In public places, shorts, short skirts, or sleeveless tops are considered disrespectful, and you may be reminded of this on the spot. During Ramadan, visitors need to be even more cautious. Eating, smoking, or chewing gum in public during the day is prohibited, even for non-Muslims. If you enjoy taking photos, be sure to ask for permission before pointing your camera at locals, soldiers, or government and royal buildings. In some places, taking photos without permission can be seen as a security violation. Some mosques, like Omar Ali Saifuddin, allow photography outside but completely prohibit it inside the prayer area. In Brunei, public displays of affection should also be limited. Holding hands, hugging, or kissing in public can be considered inappropriate behavior. If you are an unmarried couple staying in the same hotel room, you may be asked to present proof of your relationship, especially in accommodations managed by Muslims. Traffic is another noteworthy aspect. People here drive very slowly and adhere strictly to the rules. If you rent a car, do not honk your horn unless absolutely necessary, as it is considered impolite. When crossing the street, drivers usually stop to yield, but they also expect you to cross quickly. Finally, remember that on Friday afternoons, all of Brunei will pause for 2 hours for prayer. From 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., shops, supermarkets, and even traffic lights will temporarily stop functioning. If you're not aware of this in advance, you might find yourself standing in the middle of the street, confused about what's happening. The people of Brunei are almost entirely covered by the government for all basic living expenses. But what about foreigners? If you plan to live and work here, your monthly expenses might surprise you and require careful budgeting. The biggest expense is housing. While locals are provided with homes at a symbolic price, foreigners can only rent from private landlords. In the capital, Bandar Seri Begawan, a one-bedroom apartment typically costs between $500 and $800 per month. If you want to rent an entire house, the cost can go up to $1,000 or more, depending on the location and amenities. Food costs can be surprisingly low if you choose local dishes. A simple meal can cost around $1, but if you're used to dining at international restaurants or hotels, that figure can increase tenfold. Imported goods in supermarkets are not cheap either. A liter of fresh milk is about $2, and fruits from Australia or the U.S. can be significantly more expensive. In contrast, local products like rice, vegetables, and chicken are quite affordable. Utilities like electricity, water, and internet create a clear distinction between locals and foreigners. Bruneians receive subsidies, while foreigners pay market rates. On average, a small apartment incurs about $100 to $150 for utilities each month, and around $60 for internet with moderate speed. Public transportation is almost non-existent, so if you plan to stay long-term, you'll need to buy a car. A used, common model can cost between $5,000 and $10,000, depending on its age and condition. However, fuel is extremely cheap, so the total transportation cost, including maintenance, is usually only about $100 per month. In total, the average living expenses for a foreigner in Brunei range from $1,200 to $1,700 per month, not including shopping or entertainment. Compared to many developed countries, this cost of living is quite manageable. But if you want to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle, it's definitely advisable to have a decent financial cushion. And that is the comprehensive picture of Brunei, a small country that holds countless fascinating things. We hope that after this video, you have gained a clearer understanding of the life, people, and culture of this unique nation. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration journeys. What about you? Among all the things you've just seen, what detail impressed you the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We always love hearing your feedback.